Well, we have a pretty fun project here. So we've got these charts, and really can't read what it says. It's so small, it's pretty impossible to read. But we can start guessing some things about these, and we're going to just go ahead and download this and save it. So we'll start with this one. So this image is 400 pixels by 544 pixels. So it is super small. And if you open this up with Photoshop and you crop in on the actual design, so here's a closer estimation. So it is about 187 pixels by 224, and it's even smaller than that. And that's all you can see. We could say that says unique variety, perhaps. Just really difficult to see what it says. We got this white border and white inside, green border, white border, kind of a tannish border. Okay. So, I think that's going to say unique variety. Let's go ahead and make this larger. It's not going to make it any better. Actually, let's just export this as a PNG. And let's just see if we can upscale it slightly, just to have a little more size to it. So let's go 3x. That's only going to get us, it's not even going to get us to 2 inches, but I'm scared to go much more than that, just because I don't want it to be too distorted by upscale. All right. So we're going to say, so that says EST. Let's look back at our original. Yeah, it does. It is supposed to say EST on both sides. So let's just make it say that. So we're going to say EST, period. We'll put it in this color. So we'll just come over here, switch to our move tool so we can affect the whole. We'll just put that color. And then as far as the fonts, Poppins isn't terrible. We can do Poppins regular and let that be. All right. And we'll put that a little smaller. And we want a little bolder. We'll stretch it a little bit. We'll adjust the spacing between the letters. And I think we'll go medium. And we'll just pull that down. We'll make it a little smaller. We want it to still be legible. And then we will duplicate that and put that on this side. Okay. All right. And then we'll just turn those off. And we'll select both of these areas. And we'll hit remove. So we're still going to use AI, but we've got to give the AI something. Oh, it says the target layer is unsupported. Yeah, I need to select that layer and hit remove. We still got to give the AI something to work with. Like, it can't read these things. It doesn't know what to put there. So we need to put something there so that we can see something. Okay, so let's switch to this color, and we'll use that same font. And we'll turn our ESTs back on. And we'll switch to our text tool. And we'll just place it here in the center. And we're going to do unique. Oh, it's all caps. Unique variety. Okay, and we will make that regular because it's going to be a little bigger. We'll come in. We're going to make it a little smaller. Okay. See, I'm positioning it while I can still see the text behind. And then we'll just grab our remove tool and we'll select that area and just have it remove. Oh, it says unsupported again. It's because I've always got the wrong layer selected. There she goes. All right, and then we've got this net weight 13 ounce. So we're just going to grab black. Turn our unique variety back on. We'll go a little smaller on this font here. We're going to go, let's see what size this unique variety is. 24.61. We're going to go 16. Oops, I didn't mean to change that one. We'll select here. Select our move tool. I'm going to go 16. I'm actually going to change it from regular to that medium. And we get this black color. And we're just going to say net weight 13 OZ. It didn't choose the right color. I thought I would start with that right color. So that's all going to be all caps and spaced out. All right. So let's change that color while we're at it. And then we'll come back down here. Yeah, medium seems to be working. Let's try bold or semi-bold. Kind of step it up here. So we're going to do net WT period 13 space OZ. Okay, and then we're going to do, 368 G for grams. All right, and then we'll turn that off, and we'll select this area, and we'll hit remove. Oh, again, the target layer is unsupported. Well, I'm just doing that over and over again so that you all know what's happening. Okay, and we'll just center this up a little bit. I'm not sure what's happening there. I'm trying to center this up. Yep, there we go. Okay. All right, so now we have something we can give to the AI. Let's do this. So we're going to, I think we need to show it that it's against black. Let's show it against black. So we'll try to select this outer area. And we're just going to put it against black. So right here, Control-Shift-N. And I'm just going to put a black background. Perfect. All right, I think we're ready to go. Let's export this as a PNG. And I'm going to start a folder. So we're going to call it Classic Condiments. And then we'll start a folder here, and we're going to call this Classic Yellow Mustard Concept. All right, I'm going to put that in a folder and do concepts. And we'll hit save. Okay, now let's go to ChatGPT. Okay, and this is our prompt, so you can pause the video and take a look at that. We're just going to tell it to create image and go. And then we're going to copy this, and as we always do, we're not going to waste time. We're going to also let Gemini try and tell it to create image and let it go. Drag that over here, drag that there so we can watch both of them. And here we go. So she's considering trademark and design constraints, probably because it's a little too similar to the Heinz or some major, ketchup brand out there. So let's just see. Okay, so we have two options. And as per usual, ChatGPT has got better looking colors. I just like everything about it better, actually. So we'll just take this one. And we're going to upscale it. So there's our image. We're going to upscale it pretty big. We'll go 5x. It's a little problem in one of these corners that we're definitely going to need to fix. Actually, I guess all those corners. And maybe it's acceptable, right? It's just a silly gag shirt to act like this person's mustard. We'll just let it go, Mike. That's what we're going to do. All right, so now we've got our upscaled image. We're going to rename this to Classic Yellow Mustard. Oops. Little typo. Okay. I'm going to call it OG because it's like the original. And then we're going to go down here and put it in a new folder that we're going to call Pieces. Paste it in there, and we'll just open this up with Photoshop. Now, the nice thing, it would be if we could just keep this as a template. So let's take this outer shape. So I'm just selecting all the way around, and then I'm going to do Control-Shift-I to select the inside, and then Control-C, and then Control-Shift-V, and I'm going to call this Label, okay? And we'll take this outer color, and we'll do a color overlay. We're going to do Blending Options, Color Overlay, and then we'll pick that color, and we'll set that as our label. And then I'm going to do Control-G to group this, and I'm going to call this Artwork. And then I'm going to turn that artwork off so we can see these other parts. And I'm just going to start, isolating these main design elements. So there's our magic wand again. Let's grab this. Let's turn our tolerance up. I'm going to go 100. That'll really make sure it's digging into those corners. So we'll just grab that, Control-C, Control-Shift-V, and we're going to call this Outer Border. And we will grab that color. We'll put this in our artwork above the label. And we'll grab that color, hit OK. And then we are going to Blending Options. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. Color Overlay. And then select that color. OK. We're not seeing anything happen yet, but it's there. And I can't think of what else we need to do to that. So we've got those two elements isolated, and we can now just change that outer border color. So let's grab this text. Well, no, let's stay with our, let's keep doing our borders. Let's grab this green border. So we'll just copy it, paste it. We'll call this Inner. All right. And we'll do the color overlay. We'll grab the color first so we don't lose it. And we'll do Blending Options, Color Overlay, hit that color. Okay. And then let's grab let's do this. Let's do this inner right here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this and this, okay? And then I'm going to do Select, Modify, Contract, and I'm going to come in like 10 pixels. So that's like, came in from those edges all the way around, okay? And then I'm just going to do Control-Shift-V. Well, let's copy it. Control-Shift-V. I'll put this above our artwork for now. And I'll turn everything else off. Okay, now I'm going to select the outside, and I'll do Control-Shift-I. And so now that's flipped it, so it's inverted here. And then I'm just going to paint on a new layer, pure white. So we're just going to drop paint on that layer. And then we'll delete this layer. And we'll call this white label. And we'll pull that behind our borders. And then we'll delete, Control D, and then delete that layer, and then turn our artwork on. So now we've got kind of our layout. This is our main layout. All right, so we'll turn our artwork back off, turn this back on, and we'll grab our classic. So we're just holding Shift and selecting each one with the magic wand with a high tolerance. Control-C, Control-Shift-V, I'm going to call this our logo. And we are going to do blending options on that. Color overlay. Do a lot of the same things here every time. And then we're going to do black. And then let's grab our EST. So we're going to grab this. All these little guys. And we could retype this. But I think it looks pretty good. No reason to work if you don't need to. We'll copy from there. We'll put this under our logo. And we'll just pick that color. I'm going to rename it EST 2025. And then we'll do that color overlay. And we'll pick that color. Okay, okay. Now that's all consistent. And then we'll grab this unique variety. And I'm pretty happy with how this is going. I'm going to shift select these in a few different places just to make sure it's digging into the corners. You know, there's just little color variations that I see on these letters, and I just want to make sure that they're all being selected. Control C, Control Shift V. I'm going to say unique variety, and then we'll grab the color. We'll hit OK. We'll do our blending options, color overlay. Grab the color. Actually, I'm going to grab this color. All right. You know what? And I'm going to do that with the artwork on so I can be even more sure that it exactly matches. There's a slight hue change there. Okay. So that's our unique variety, and our outer border are going to be the same color. And so I'm just going to group them. I'm going to copy this layer style. And I'm going to call this outer border. And I'm going to paste that layer style right on that. So that if I change the color of one, it's going to change both, you know. Just make it easy. And then let's do this. This and this. We'll call this branding. Okay. And I think we'll also put in there this EST thing. Let's do that. I mean, this net weight, excuse me. All right, let's grab these guys. They're nice and black. I don't see any variation. Text looks strong. No problems. Control C. I'm going to put that in our branding here. Control Shift V. We'll call this net weight. And we'll do our blending options. Color overlay. Give us our black. Okay, okay. And I'll just pull this down. I'll pull this up. Stay in that folder. Okay, so this is what we got so far. So I think all of these elements can stay the same for each label, and we can just kind of change the colors. And I also think that we just have the we can stay with this style. We can actually have the words, and then we can have the artwork. So let's get that artwork. All right, since we're going from white to white, and it looks pretty good, we're just going to grab around this. I don't think we're actually going to see any small change in the white. So I'll just copy this, and I'm going to make a new group, and I'm going to call it variable. Well, that was a new new group. We'll call this variable. And then here we'll just paste, and I'll call this artwork. And then we'll just grab our yellow mustard. Okay. We'll copy it from here. And we'll call this name. And we'll give it a color overlay. Blending options. Color overlay. Pure black. Perfect. Okay. Okay. All right. I think that we've got our artwork done. So I'm not seeing hardly any change when I switch between the background and our artwork. Let's center some things. Okay. So I'm actually going to just center like crazy on this document. We'll take our entire label and we will make sure we're aligning to canvas, and we'll center it. That moved it slightly. Our white label, let's center it. Here's our outer border. Here's our unique variety. Let's center it. Outer border, center it. I don't see much changes, which is good. Our artwork we won't center. We'll just center that by hand each time because I'm not sure how I, copied around it there. Our name, we definitely want to center it. In fact, we might even want to look at taking that name. Let's just rasterize that layer style. Let's make sure this is centered separately. Yeah, I thought it was off. And then we'll take this and center it. Yeah. And then we can pull this above so we preserve the name, merge them back down again. And we'll do that. Well, I don't think we need the color overlay. We know it's there. And then this inner border, are you centered? Yes. Our branding, is our logo centered? Now it is. And our established 2025, are you centered? Yes. Okay, so now we're all centered. I don't think we centered the net weight. Let's do that. All right. Everything looks good. And I think that our unique variety, I don't see any typos. I think we're good. This can be our template. So we'll save this as, we'll put it in our classic condiments folder, and we'll call it classic condiments. Okay. And then we'll just take this entire group and we'll name it yellow mustard. And then we can build the rest of them in here, same way. So let's see what we can do without ChatGPT. Let's just duplicate this group. And let's look at some of our other examples. So now we've got pickle relish. Everything's the same. It looks like even the outer borders are the same. It just says pickle relish, and then it just has the actual pickle. So I'm sitting here realizing that we could just change the text each time if we just had it typed. So let's just do that. Let's go and find our variable folder. And we're here above the name. I've been looking while I was paused. I'm going to use Anton. So I think Anton is the right font for this. And we're just going to make it a lot bigger than that. Actually, let's just check our size here. We'll turn off resample. We'll set this to 300 and hit OK. And now 200 point is going to be huge. Yeah, I thought so. All right, let's just type that yellow. It's close enough, I mean, impact might be a better choice. Let's look at impact. I didn't switch it. Make sure I got this. Okay, impact. I have no idea what's happening, you guys. I'm telling it to go for it, and it's just not working. All right, that's even a little bit better. Let's make the size a little bigger. A lot closer there. Let's center it. Yep. It's not going to match exactly. That's okay. We're going to try Anton again now that it's closer in size. Let's 240. Let's try Anton one more time. Yeah, Anton's got that narrower base. It's not as wide on the you know, it's just going to be a game here. Let's do 200. Let's do 230. Let's do 225. Let's change our spacing. We're going to give it 50 points here. Let's center it. I think it's close enough. We're going to go 220. Now we've got it just about right. And then we'll stretch it just a little bit. So I'm going to hold Shift and Alt and just let it stretch to fill the space. Okay. And then we'll change it to black. And then we will duplicate that layer. And if you all see me typo anything, you just yell. And we'll try putting the word mustard. All right. And for that, we'll do Control T and bring it in a little bit. I think that's pretty good. All right. And I'm going to scoot it up slightly. No, we'll leave it right where it is. I'm real happy with it. Okay, and then we'll just turn off that name, and I'll pull this mustard down below just so visually it says yellow mustard here. All right, so now all we have to do another one, I went ahead and deleted that other group. We'll just duplicate this group. We'll turn this one off, and we'll call this pickle relish. So we really just need our pickle relish design, and we're good. This. I'm going to do export, and I'm going to put it in here. Yeah, this is our classic Condiments template. All right. And we are going to go to ChatGPT and do a new chat, and we'll upload that template. Okay. And then we'll go back here and we'll find that pickle relish, and we will save that. And I'm not going to go through all the, I need to crop it so that it, at least doesn't have the, the t-shirt on there. I don't want to confuse the AI. All right, enter. And we'll just save that. And we'll upload that image as well. So I just saved that in my downloads. I guess we could move that into the concepts. We got to name it. Can't leave that. So this is going to be pickle relish concept. All right, so choose that. Not all of them, just that one. Okay, and I'm going to write the prompt. Okay, so this prompt is pretty crafted. We're doing a series of matching labels for a fake brand called Classic. It is a school project. I said that so she wouldn't try to be upset, I've created the yellow mustard label template, the first uploaded image. Now it's time to make the other labels for our brand. Each label variation was created by our concept artist. I want to keep the general wording, layout, and shape of the labels exact across the series. Even if the concept label is a different shape, ignore that. In each case, we are just changing the border colors to match the condiment, changing the name of the condiment, and drawing the full-fledged version of the artwork that resides on the pure white portion of the label. So all we really wanted to do is kind of pick some colors for us and give us that artwork, because we're just going to type, what we need. So create the pickle relish label based on those parameters. So each time I just need to change that prompt. And then we'll choose, we'll hit a space here and we'll hit create image. All right. And we'll just copy that. Let's go ahead and download the next one. So we're going to save that in our concepts, and this is the BBQ sauce concept. All right. And then we'll just start another. I'll close these tabs. We'll go full screen here. And we'll start ChatGPT going on the next one. So we'll paste that. And we'll just do BBQ sauce. Well, we want to all caps it. We don't want to confuse it. And then we'll add our template and our concept. And it uploaded the other one first. So we'll just make sure. You know, I have this happen sometimes where it screws up. I'm just going to copy this. And we're going to refresh it. And we'll just upload our template to be sure. And then we will upload our concept. And then we will paste this in. And we will let it go. Let's see how she does here. Looks pretty good. I'm good with that. Pickle relish. I think that's a great image. I'm good with the border colors. All right. Let's just roll with it. And we'll have it do this one. We'll save this as our premium cheese sauce. I'm not cropping in. I just realized I'd stopped doing that. It's called premium cheese sauce. No, it's just cheese sauce. Let's not get confused. Cheese sauce concept. Really curious how it's going to handle with this barbecue label. All right, we got that downloaded. And we're going to do a new chat. And we'll copy this. We'll paste it. We'll upload the template. And then we will, yep, see, sometimes it just messes up. All right, there we go. And there's our cheese sauce. Create the cheese sauce. Cheese sauce. All right, let's see how she does here. Ooh, she nailed it. Awesome. Well done. Okay, great. Okay. All right, let's go back to our Condiments PSD. I'm going to close all my others. I've got all these other documents open. It's time to just cut those out. Okay. And here's my pickle relish. So we're just going to change this text. So grab our text tool. Pickle. It's fitting. And I'm struggling with whether I should resize this layer. We squished it in a little bit from the one above. I think it does look nice to be just a little different size. So we'll just squish it out. We'll just make it look good. All right. And we'll grab our downloaded pickle relish. I'm going to grab both of these. I'm going to call this one pickle relish OG. And this is our barbecue sauce, BBQ sauce. All right, we'll just complete one of these to finish this tutorial. I know it's getting really long. So we'll take this out to 5x, upscale it. It's working. It won't take long. There she is. We'll cut that. We'll put that in our pieces. We'll rename this so it doesn't have that long extra name. And we will pull that in to our design. Let's grab that. And we'll drop it in. It really did a good job. I mean, you could just kind of run with this. It's probably fine, but I want it to be more consistent than that. So we'll just put this up here at the top. We'll put it in our pickle relish folder. And we'll be able to pick some colors. So let's grab our, yeah, we can just leave it right there. We'll grab our inner border. Here's our color overlay. It looks like it kept that really consistent. So I'm just going to check 2C6. Yeah, let's see, Control Z. Let's cancel that. So it did change it, and it's moving significantly. I mean, I'm good with that change. All right. And then let's do our outer border. And we want this color. Okay. We've got our pickle relish words already. So what we really need to do is just off this. Let's just come in here and go all the way around this. Gotta hold your breath. It's the only way that works. My dad would say you got to have your mouth in the right position to make stuff like this happen. All right, so I'm just going to copy that, Control C, and then paste it right here. And that is our artwork. Well, we'll call it Pickles. All right, we'll turn that artwork off, and then we should be able to just turn this off. And now we got our pickle relish. It's a little big. Bring it in. Just push it up. All right. And we'll just do the rest of the labels just like that. We'll just work through the series and keep using that same prompt and probably get this done really shortly. Oh, let me show you how to save it. Let me pause and I'll come back and show you how to save it after I have them all done. Okay, we're wrapping this up. So here's our cheese sauce. We're going to just do this. I'm going to show you this one more time. So here's our inner border. Just like that green. Here's our outer border. We'll select that red. We're going to select the layer. So this is the layer we're copying from. And we're going to go around it. Well, we want to give a little bit of room here around the edge in case we have to feather that in. Don't want to get any of that. I do think I see some color variations down there at the bottom. We'll just see if they're visible. We'll do Control C on that. We'll come down here. We don't need our barbecue sauce anymore. We'll do Control Shift V. I'm actually going to release that clipping mask there. And we'll turn that levels off. I needed it for the cheese sauce. And I just realized that I had left a little bit of extra here I didn't need. We'll get rid of that barbecue sauce. All right. And then we will turn off this layer. Yeah, see that problem there? See how it's got that discoloration? So I'm going to grab this. I'm a little lost on my layers here. Hang on. There's my, I'm in the tomato ketchup. What's this? That's it. So there is my ketchup. And I'm just going to add this levels on it to like brighten it so that it washes out that white and then create the clipping mask. So we're just going to do create clipping mask on this. Sorry, create clipping mask. And I might not need as much. I just don't want to see a border where my white is. So I'm just going to take it back out here. Yeah, there I can see it. So I just need a little bit to hide that white. And then we'll take this and we'll scoot it up. Yeah, I think it's fine. And then we'll just change the name. So we're going to change this to tomato. Yeah, we'll bring it in just a little bit. And then we'll do ketchup. And we're going to have to bring that in a lot. Yeah. Interesting. I'm going to bring that tomato in more. ketchup. It's locking, it's jumping, and I don't want it to. I just want it to be right in here. I might even like push that over just a little bit for the kerning. All right, let's do that tomato just a little bit more because it looks good when it's just a little change between them. And that's 6 letters, and this is 7, so that's acceptable. Okay, and I think that's the final. So let's just save our PSD. And you see I got all the other layers here. And we'll just save this one first. So we're going to do image trim, transparent pixels. They're all the same, so I don't have to worry about things. I can just set one size. So I'll set 15 here. Okay, and it's a little too tall. All right. I'm going to make the decision to make this exactly 15 by 19. So I'm going to select all my layers and transform the whole thing. We're just going to give it a tiny squish. Hold shift. We really just need a tiny shift. I mean, that's probably too much. It's transforming everything, so it's going to take a second. Image trim. Okay. Image size. 15. See, I did too much, so yeah, I'm going to fight that back and forth, get it right. Oh, I've been fighting it, and I just realized what I need to do is just literally tell it it's 15, and then I'm going to try to resample it. Well, unlock this. I'm going to make it 19. Set this to 300 and just force it. So it's going to squish it. It's going to take a second because it's got to think about that. Okay. There we go. And I can save it. It's fine. It's 15 by 19. It's as big as we ever make it. And now we'll export it. So I'm just going to do File. I'm going to turn all these other ones off. I didn't see any change there because they aren't there. And then we're going to name it. So we're going to call this Classic Condiments Tomato Ketchup 4500 PX RTP. Oh, PC. Sorry. And then Mike RTP. All right, there we go. Hey, thanks for watching my tutorial. I'm really happy to be able to provide these. And, all this is thanks to Crystal DTF for, allowing this kind of learning environment. So thanks for ordering your transfers from crystaldtf.com. Have a wonderful day. Take care.